Are you spending over $2,000 a month in the US just to pay rent, bills, and worry? Meanwhile, there are places where only $20 a day, the same as the price of a fast food meal in Los Angeles, is enough for you to have your own home, 3 hot meals, internet, morning coffee, and even sunsets by the sea. The question isn't how much money you have, it's where you're spending it. In America, $20 might only buy you a rushed lunch, but in these countries, $20 buys you an entire peaceful day, filled with sunshine, breeze, smiles, and the feeling that you're truly alive. And today, I'll take you to 5 places around the world where $600 a month isn't just a number, but a ticket to a new life. Hold on tight, because by the end of this video, you might just want to book a flight, dream it, pack it, go. 5. Nepal-Pokhara, the town where time holds its breath. There are places that make you believe happiness doesn't need luxury, just the courage to live slowly. Pokhara is one of them. Nestled beneath the majestic Himalayas, this city feels like it was written in morning mist and afternoon sunlight, where temple bells echo across Lake Phua, and every morning, the clouds linger lazily on the mountain peaks as if they're not ready to leave. Here, $600 a month isn't just enough to live, it's enough to live well. You can rent a lovely little room with yellow plaster walls and a balcony overlooking the sunset on the lake for $200. Eat 3 delicious meals a day. Morning ginger tea, lunch with lentil rice, and dinner with steaming hot momos and grilled fish from the lake. For only $250. Utilities, internet, basic health care, and a few tuk-tuk rides around the city fit neatly into another $100. And you still have $50 left for a weekend hike, a meditation class, or simply a few cappuccinos while watching the slow rain fall over the Annapurna Range. Pokhara is where you learn how to breathe again. People here don't say, "I'm busy." They say, "I'll do it tomorrow." No one rushes, no one competes. The Nepali flower lady at the market remembers exactly which yellow daisies you like. The grocer at the corner shop knows which tea you prefer when the weather turns cold. The children flying kites under the gentle afternoon sun smile and say "Namaste," as if greeting an old friend. The expat community here is small but close. A few English teachers, a few retired artists, and a handful of Americans who came to retire from being in a hurry. Every morning, they gather by the lake, sip strong black coffee, and share stories about life, punctuated by bursts of laughter, as if they've rediscovered the youth they once left behind. A 67-year-old American named Rick, a former engineer from Texas, told me, "On my first day in Pokhara, I tried to start a wood fire, but the smoke started me instead. The whole house filled up with haze. My neighbors came running, laughing, showing me how to stack the wood in an A shape, then blew gently, whoosh, and the fire caught. In the US, I used to pay $200 a month for electricity. Here, I blow on the fire with my own breath and feel young again." Now, every evening, Rick's porch glows with a small flame and the sound of laughter drifting lightly across the lake. Life in Pokhara is so simple that you stop comparing. No more questions like, "Am I better than someone?" Only, "Am I happy today?" In the morning, you hear temple bells echo through the mist. At noon, you enjoy a warm, home-cooked meal. In the afternoon, you wander along red brick steps overlooking the deep blue water. Everything seems to conspire with slowness, as if the universe itself wants you to rest. If you're worried about paperwork, don't be. Americans can stay in Nepal for up to 150 days on a tourist visa, And if you're over 60, you only need to show an income of around $20,000 a year to apply for a long-term retirement visa. No investment, no property purchase, just the heart to let go and leave. Healthcare here isn't as advanced as in New York, but it's full of kindness. Private checkups cost around 20-30 Rs. Doctors speak gentle English, and they always smile. For major surgeries, Bangkok or Delhi are only a few hours' flight away. Many foreigners living in Pokhara say they've never felt healthier, not because of medicine, but because they worry less. Safety? Pokhara is so peaceful you might forget to lock your door. Occasionally there's a power outage. Locals just light candles and call it free meditation hour. During the rainy season, some roads slide a little. They say it's nature's way of maintaining human patience. And truly, when you stand beneath the Himalayas, you can't be in a hurry, because rushing won't make the mountains move faster. Nepal is poor, but not lacking. The rupee is stable. Prices for rice, vegetables, and utilities remain low, and people believe that enough food and enough laughter mean enough life. With US dollars, you're rich in a humble world. Of course, no place is perfect. Sometimes earthquakes make the whole city tremble, like a reminder whispering, "Treasure today." And specialized healthcare is still limited. If you have chronic conditions, it's best to have good insurance. But if you've ever felt exhausted by bills, meetings, and invisible worries, then Pokhara is your answer. If you love this place, don't hesitate to type the number 5 in the comments. Let's see how many others feel the same way. 4. Sri Lanka-Kandy, the city where mist smells like tea and temple bells. In 2022, the whole world turned its eyes to Sri Lanka as the country faced a severe economic crisis. Gas prices doubled, people stood in long lines to buy rice, and electricity was cut on rotation. But strangely, just 2 years later, the endless green tea hills of Kandy breathe peace again, as if nothing ever happened. People still smile, trains still curve through the cloud forests, and golden temples still ring with evening chants. In a place that has weathered storms, people have learned to live slowly and live fully. Kandy can give you a life that, in New York, would barely buy 2 steak dinners and a few days of electricity. Here you can rent a small, cozy home nestled among tea hills with a balcony overlooking misty valleys for just $150–180. 3 daily meals, mild curry with rice, roti bread, and fresh coconut water, cost around $250. Utilities, internet, basic health care, and transportation come to about $100–120. Altogether, roughly $600 a month, or $20 a day, enough to live slowly, eat well, sleep peacefully, and forget what an alarm clock sounds like. Kandy is like a beautiful woman who has lived through much. She doesn't flaunt her beauty. She quietly makes you fall in love. In the morning, clouds drift over the tea hills like silk skirts, and the scent of sun-warmed tea leaves perfumes the air. At noon, temple bells echo across Kandy Lake, slow and steady, like the heartbeat of someone who has finally stopped rushing. In the afternoon, you can sit at a roadside cafe, sip a strong cup of black tea, and watch cheeky monkeys steal the show with their banana heists that make the whole street burst into laughter. Here, even the monkeys seem happy. So how could people not be? Sri Lankans have a gentleness that's hard to describe. Everyone is willing to help, whether it's giving directions or sharing half a mango. English is widely spoken, so even if you say thank you like thank you, they'll still understand and still smile. A smile here is worth more than $1. For visas, Americans can easily stay in Sri Lanka for 30 days and extend multiple times. And if you're over 55, have $15,000 in savings and a minimum monthly income of $500, you qualify for the My Dream Home visa, a long-term ticket to make Kandy your second home. No property purchase, no investment, just the ability to love a simple life. Healthcare here is as friendly as the local smiles. Private consultations cost only about $10–20. Doctors all speak English, and if you ever need specialized care, Colombo is just a few hours away by train. Public hospitals can be crowded, but Sri Lanka's private healthcare system is surprisingly affordable. A full medical checkup costs less than a tip in the U.S. Safety? Extremely. Kandy feels like a town where the police can sit down for tea with locals. Pickpocketing exists, but is rare. Violence is almost non-existent. Only the rain can be a bit enthusiastic. When it pours, the streets turn into little rivers and locals ride their scooters through it, laughing under their helmets as if it were a natural spa. The rainy season here isn't something to fear. It's nature's way of washing off the dust and cooling people's hearts. The expat community in Kandy isn't large but very close-knit. They meet at a cafe called Tea Breeze, hold yoga classes, and share their own curry recipes. Americans, Brits, and Australians live side by side with locals. No barriers, no showing off. Here, no one asks, "How much do you make?" They just ask, "Did you sleep well last night?" Economically, Sri Lanka once struggled, but it has now become a discount paradise for anyone earning in US dollars. A glass of fresh mango smoothie costs just $1. Chicken is $1.50 per kilo, and internet only $10 a month. The rupee has depreciated, but for those paid in dollars, you become a small millionaire in a lush green country. Prices are stabilizing, inflation has dropped sharply, and confidence is returning. Just like the Sri Lankan people, who keep smiling even after hardship. Of course, no place is all sunshine. The economy is still fragile. If the government changes policy, fuel or import prices could fluctuate. And the climate? The rainy season in the hill country like Kandy can drag on, occasionally causing small landslides that make the roads feel like they're temporarily hibernating. But if you have a sense of adventure and a good pair of sandals, a few puddles won't stop you from stepping outside to enjoy a morning cup of tea. Kandy isn't loud like Bangkok or glittering like Dubai, but it's real enough to make you feel alive. Not just existing. In the mornings, the sound of roosters blends with temple bells. In the afternoons, clouds drift down to the lake, and you realize sometimes happiness is simply not having to chase it. If one day you find yourself tired of bills, lonely dinners, and restless nights in a cold city, try coming to Kandy. Here, $20 a day doesn't just pay for living expenses, it pays for peace. And if you're thinking, maybe I need a place like that, then hit subscribe, because the next journey might just be where you rediscover your youth, in the scent of tea, the sound of rain, and the smile of Sri Lanka. 3. Laos-Savannakhet, the town where time takes a nap. There are places that make you feel like the whole world is rushing, except that one spot. Savannakhet is such a place, a small town by the Mekong River, where even the clocks seem to yawn and decide to take a longer nap. There's no traffic, no 24/7 supermarkets, only the sound of old motorbikes rumbling along dusty roads, the wind brushing through rows of tamarind trees, and sometimes the laughter of children playing by the river. It's hard to believe, but with just $600 a month, you can live here without lacking anything that truly matters. A clean little house for $200, Full meals of sticky rice, river fish, and grilled chicken for $150, utilities and internet for $100, transportation for $20, plus a small budget for health care or morning coffee, all neatly wrapped up in $600. Elsewhere, $20 might buy you 2 Starbucks drinks and a bit of stress. But here, it's enough for food, shelter, laughter, and a peaceful afternoon nap. Savannakhet doesn't try to impress you. It simply helps you exhale. Each morning, the mist drifts over the Mekong like a sheet of silver silk. Elders sit with their slow drip coffee, chatting in calm tones between the buzzing of insects. By noon, the whole town grows silent. Even the wind seems to slow down. And when sunset arrives, the sky burns red and mirrors itself on the river's surface. That's when you'll understand why they call this the town where time rests. Life in Laos is as gentle as the smiles of its people. Everyone moves slowly, not out of laziness, but because there's simply no need to rush. Vendors don't push their sales, pedestrians don't shove through crowds, and you could leave your wallet on a cafe table for hours and still find it untouched. Americans who come here are often slightly shocked because no one cares who you are or how much money you have. The only thing that matters is whether you smile back. Visa procedures in Laos are what you might call charmingly complicated. Americans can stay 30 days on a tourist visa for $35, then extend it, or do quick border runs to renew. There's no official retirement visa, but if you enjoy a peaceful hermit lifestyle, all you need is a passport and a friendly smile, and you'll quickly become a familiar face in the village. Healthcare here is simple, the kind where the doctor knows your whole family after your first visit. Hospitals in Savannakhet can only handle basic conditions. For serious issues, locals usually cross into Thailand, just a few hours away by road. Private checkups cost around $10–20, and even if not everyone speaks English, their sincerity speaks louder than words. As for safety, Laos ranks among the most peaceful countries in Asia. In Savannakhet, you can stroll at midnight. Your only concern might be the neighbor's dog following you playfully, not a thief. The politics are stable, the people are kind, and nature is soft and forgiving. The rainy season can turn some roads into mini swimming pools, but locals just laugh and ride their motorbikes through, as if the Mekong River had decided to expand its borders for a while. Savannakhet has very few foreigners, and that's exactly what makes it special. There's no noisy Western district, no bars that stay open all night. Instead, you'll have quiet afternoons chatting with monks in ancient temples, mornings going to the market with your neighbors, and evenings listening to old Lao songs from a crackling radio. For foreigners who want a simple life, Laos feels like an acoustic melody after you've grown tired of EDM. The Lao economy is small but charming. The kip, LAK, keeps depreciating, which means you actually get richer if your income is in dollars. A full meal costs only $2 to $3, utilities stay under $100 a month, and a single dollar can still buy you a genuine smile. However, the Lao government is still balancing between development and preservation, so infrastructure remains weak, and prices sometimes rise and fall like emotions in the rainy season. Of course, Laos isn't a perfect paradise. The first drawback is infrastructure. Roads still have potholes, and hospitals lack modern equipment. The second is visas and language. There's no official retirement visa, English isn't common, and Lao is as tricky as learning jazz. You don't just study it, you feel it. But if you have an adventurous heart, those things stop being obstacles. They become seasoning for your slow living journey. People often say, If you live in Laos long enough, you'll forget how to rush. And it's true. Savannakhet doesn't make you older. It makes you younger. Because there's nothing to worry about, and no one to compete with. If one day you're tired of a world that keeps demanding you to be faster, stronger, and have more, come here, where $20 a day can buy you peace. And if you want to keep exploring places where even time surrenders to humanity, hit subscribe. Because the next journey will take you to more places that make you smile, just like waking from a nap in Savannakhet. 2. Indonesia-Yogyakarta, the capital of smiling souls. If Bali is where people go to show off photos, then Yogyakarta is where they go to find themselves. This city has nothing to prove. It quietly enchants you with the smell of freshly roasted coffee in the morning, the soft hum of motorbikes weaving between ancient temples, and smiles so kind they make you forget what deadlines even mean. One March morning, when Mount Merapi awoke, thin white smoke rose gently into the sky. Yet the people of Yogyakarta still sat calmly by the roadside, enjoying their wonton nasi goreng as if the earth could tremble. But breakfast must go on. That's the spirit of Java. Serenity in chaos. Peace in the middle of life's currents. Here, $20 a day, around $600 a month, is enough to live like a tropical poet. Rent a small room with a balcony overlooking a mango tree for $200. Eat abundantly on $150, from fried rice, satay, and fresh fruit to iced coffee. Cover utilities and internet for $60, and spend about $90 on healthcare and transportation. Add it all up, and you'll find a month without a single bill breaking your heart. Yogyakarta is the cultural heart of Indonesia, where Hindus, Muslims, and Buddhists all pray under the same sky. This ancient city feels like a thick book, and every alley is a chapter, telling stories of the Mataram dynasty, of Borobudur rising through the mist, or of painters crafting batik designs on the verandas of old wooden houses. Here, you don't need to climb mountains to meditate. Just walk slowly through the streets, and you already are. People in Yogyakarta live by the philosophy of Ngopi dulu. Have coffee first, then think later. Nothing is ever too urgent, and no life is ever too busy. Everyone has time for a cup of coffee, a small conversation, and a smile that somehow makes everything lighter. For retirees, this is a kind of medicine no hospital could ever prescribe. Americans can easily get a 30-day visa for $35 and extend it multiple times. If you want to stay longer, you can switch to a kitas, a flexible residency permit that doesn't require a high income. The paperwork can be a little fancy, but the locals are incredibly helpful. The kind who, if they don't know something, they'll ask. And if they still don't know, they'll just smile. Healthcare in Yogyakarta is good enough for a peaceful retired life. Private consultations cost 15–30 lans, medicine is affordable, and doctors are friendly. If you ever need major treatment, Jakarta or Bali are only a short flight away. The expat community here is smaller than in Bali, but that's actually a blessing. You blend into real local life, without the noise or the fake Western streets. Of course, Indonesia isn't a flawless painting. The land sometimes trembles with small earthquakes, and Mount Merapi still clears its throat from time to time. The rainy season can turn the streets into watercolor paintings, and traffic sometimes feels like a childhood game of tag. Yet somehow, amid the honking and haze, Yogyakarta still makes you feel peaceful. Because happiness here isn't something you chase. It quietly finds you as you sit on your porch, sipping a hot cup of coffee, and suddenly realize you're living, not just existing. And if you're also searching for a place that's affordable, authentic, and can make you smile even when a volcano smokes. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Who knows? The next journey might take you right where your soul learns to smile. Yogyakarta, Indonesia. 1. Bolivia-Sucre, the white city in the Andes sky. If there's a place where you feel richer just by breathing, it's Sucre. With $600 a month, you're not living cheaply, you're living lightly. A downtown apartment costs only $200, full meals with grilled meat, potatoes, and wine about $150, and utilities, internet, healthcare, and transportation all together under $100. In total, around $550 a month, and you still have enough left for coffee, books, and watching clouds drift across the Andes. Sucre is called the White City, not just because of its whitewashed walls, but because it clears your mind as well. In the morning, sunlight spills over red-tiled roofs. By afternoon, church bells blend with the breeze. And at night, you sit on your porch with a $4 retirecheap wine, listening to children's laughter echoing down the street. Here, time doesn't pass. It rests. The visa process is quite relaxed. Americans get 30 days on arrival and can easily extend or apply for long-term residence by showing proof of about $300 monthly income. Paperwork moves slowly, but never painfully. Bolivians live by their own philosophy. Nothing is more urgent than tomorrow. Healthcare is basic. Private checkups cost around $10–20. Doctors are friendly, though hospitals lack modern equipment, so people with chronic conditions often fly to Chile for treatment. Yet thanks to the cool climate and clean air, many expats say their health improves naturally. Safety is good. Just stay alert at markets. What you should really watch out for is the altitude. The first week may leave you dizzy, but soon you'll feel stronger and calmer than ever. Of course, Bolivia isn't perfect. The healthcare system is still weak, the expat community is small, and English is rare. But if you seek peace, true, uninterrupted peace, this is the gift made for you. You see, sometimes happiness isn't expensive, it's just somewhere else. With $20 a day, you can live among the mountains of Nepal, the tea hills of Sri Lanka, the rivers of Laos, the artist villages of Indonesia, or the white city of Bolivia, where even time wants to slow down. In the US, $600 might only be enough to survive. But here, it's enough to start a new life. Lighter, freer, and full of sunshine. So hit subscribe, because the next journey might be the one where you finally find the place you truly belong.